According to information from the Department of Statistics on St. Kitts, the quantity of potable water available for household and commercial purposes have been falling since the year 2010. While this has been occurring, the demand for water has been increasing with the development of new housing, expanding tourism, and demands from the agricultural sector as well. Water on St. Kitts is obtained from two primary sources, namely groundwater and surface water. In 2010, nearly 1.6 million gallons of groundwater went into storage and distribution, along with over 849,000 gallons of surface water. By 2019, however, groundwater supply had dropped to just over 1.2 million gallons, and surface water obtained fell to just over 543,000 gallons. Some areas of St. Kitts have had long-term water supply issues, and a schedule of water supply shutoffs have been in place over a period of years. Recently, Congress Maynard, the minister with responsibility for water, toured sections of the water supply system and made this comment on social media. He said, quote, "As we continue to strategize on how to alleviate the tremendous water shortages that we have, it is clear that not enough attention was paid to our water system in recent years. The solutions to the problems are not short-term. However, I am confident that we will again return to 24-hour water supply. Very soon, I intend to give a summary of the analysis we are doing on the way forward." End quote. Statistics from as far back as 2000 show substantial fluctuations in rainfall that feeds both ground and surface water sources. Generally, there has been a downward trend since 2004. Continued economic and social development will place additional strain on meeting the demands for potable water, and depending on rainfall is likely not the answer. Further delays in addressing the water shortage on St. Kitts could lead to a water crisis sooner rather than later. Glenn Bart reporting for SK News.
A two-day workshop to sensitize stakeholders on the implementation of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, in St. Kitts and Nevis began at the Kuna Conference Center in Portland Tuesday morning. The workshop is being attended by local stakeholders and focused on the national validation of the Voluntary National Review, VNR, report on the implementation of the SDGs. The official presentation of the VNR report at the UN will be done in July 2023. Addressing the opening ceremony were Minister of Sustainable Development et al. Dr. Joel Clark and Mr. Cosbert Woods, UN Country Coordinating Officer for St. Kitts and Nevis. Minister Clark spoke of the goal of the current administration in making St. Kitts and Nevis a sustainable small island state and what it will take to achieve this. She stressed for the improvement of the quality of life of people living in the Federation, everyone must come under the agenda of the administration to create a more sustainable country.
Several persons have said to me, "Oh, sustainability is just a word that you keep throwing around. It's past its time." Is that the case? No, I don't think it's the case, because we have to continuously rethink sustainability. And now we're not just thinking of sustainability as it was 5 years ago. As I mentioned before, we're thinking of sustainability with climate resilience and resilience from pandemics. We're thinking of sustainability with more of an energy focus, more of livelihoods focus. People need to wake up in the morning and feel happy and comfortable and know that they can eat, they can go to work, and they can go back home and have quality lives. That's what our sustainability mission is about.
Mr. Woods spoke of the importance of the VNR to St. Kitts and Nevis and provided an overview of the UN country implementation plan.
This exercise provides the Federation with a platform to engage the international community of UN members, agencies, and other development partners on the progress made, the challenges experienced, best practices, and lessons learned in pursuit of the SDGs. It also provides an opportunity to establish and strengthen strategic partnerships with these players in identifying solutions and executing more meaningful interventions to accelerate SDG implementation, primarily through the mainstreaming of SDG indicators into national work programs.
The workshop continued with presentations by Mr. Oren Manners, Director of the Department of Economic Affairs and PSIP, and representatives of the UN Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, ECLAC, that is responsible for facilitating the presentation of the Federation's first VNR report. Consultant to the project, Kevin Hope of Hope Economics, also gave a presentation of the VNR report. VNR reports aim to facilitate the sharing of experiences, including successes, challenges, and lessons learned, with a view to accelerating the implementation of the SDGs. The VNRs will also seek to strengthen policies and institutions of government and to mobilize multi-stakeholder support and partnerships for the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. The holiday season is approaching, and now is the time to get the message out about your business. SK Newsline introduces special advertising rates for the Christmas season with our Christmas specials. You can advertise on the SK Newsline Newscast or send special holiday greetings to the general public with our Christmas greetings on both SK Newsline and Voice of the Caribbean Radio at affordable prices. Call our marketing department for more information, 665-7496, or email advertising@sknnewsline.com. 'Tis the season to be jolly, so enjoy our Christmas specials at SK Newsline and Voice of the Caribbean Radio and promote your business the effective way this holiday season. Your vehicle is very important to you. That's why you should ensure it gets the best service and care possible only at IAS Diagnostic Center, located at Bird Rock behind the Life Fitness Center gym. Come to IAS Diagnostic Center for wheel alignment, rotor cutting, AC servicing, wheel balancing, oil filter change, diagnostic, tire repair and sale, tinting, and much more. With top-of-the-line equipment, come to IAS Diagnostic Center in Bird Rock. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Call 767-4422, 662-4416, or 466-6708. IAS Diagnostic Center for quality care of your vehicle.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips. Nestled between evergreen mountains and the Caribbean Sea on the island of St. Kitts is the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center. With breathtaking views, a rugged, beautiful shoreline, and immaculate manicured gardens make this the perfect location for your holiday, event, or wedding. With a large convention center, apartments with balconies providing stunning views, and a secluded cottage for larger family groups or honeymooning couples looking for some privacy. We have something for everyone. Book your stay at www.millhouseskn.com or visit our Facebook page, the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center, an oasis of tranquility.
Socio-political commentator Dwyer Astafan said it is important to delve into the hush puppy case that involves St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship and the non-submission of FBI-requested documents. According to Astafan, the hush puppy matter has significant implications in regards to good governance, the rule of law, and the circumstances under which the citizenship was granted by the recent Team Unity government led by then Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris. Astafan explains why the hush puppy matter is still relevant for the country.
When leaders make decisions that are not in the best interest of the people, and even worse, when they make decisions for selfish and self-serving reasons, they hurt the people. Was the hush puppy decision just a bad decision? Or was it a decision made for self-serving purposes? If it was just a bad decision, then the people of this country achieved political justice in the August 5th elections by getting rid of the Harris regime. But if it was a decision which was not only bad in law and bad in governance, if it was a decision made for self-serving purposes, then there is another forum at which justice must be sought against those who made the decision. The people need to know. And as our present Prime Minister, Dr. Drew, says, justice must be pursued. Any society which turns the blind eye to injustice, cannot call itself a just society. And if we want our children and grandchildren to inherit a just society, we have to make that a reality today. So we cannot let this one go by the wayside.
Asafan believes the current administration has a duty to ensure there is full transparency on what transpired under the previous administration. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
The Media Association of St. Kitts and Nevis successfully completed their first ever training workshop since the association was revitalized earlier this year. The workshop, which lasted for 6 weeks, focused on economic and financial reporting and was facilitated by economic and business consultant Kevin Hope. President of the Media Association, Andre Huey, spoke to the value of the workshop to the members of the media.
So we have been doing some training, or a particular training exercise. We started a training workshop about 6 weeks ago with, it's a collaboration between the Media Association of St. Kitts and Nevis and Hope Economics. Hope Economics is a business consultancy which is headed by Mr. Kevin Hope. He's a business consultant and economist, former executive director of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce. And he partnered with us to offer a 6 weeks training program on economic and financial reporting. And basically the whole idea of that workshop is to train journalists to properly report on matters of the economy and finances. I'm happy to say that we've had a fairly decent participation of both local journalists and journalists who are based in the OACS who would have participated in some of our sessions. And the training has been a huge success.
Mr. Huey gave a practical example as to how the training from the workshop has impacted the work of the media so far.
Just recently, we had a story that made national headlines when the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Minister of Finance would have indicated that the country is experiencing a deficit. About 2 days later, we had a statement, or 2 or 3 days later, we had a statement from the former Prime Minister and former Finance Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris, indicating that when he left office, he left a certain amount of money in the treasury or in the accounts of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. And so a lot of people are asking, who is actually telling the truth? One person is saying the country is in deficit, the other person is saying, well, I left enough money there so the country could not be in deficit. And so we as journalists wanted to get to the bottom of this. It so happens that our training workshop for that particular week, when this story broke, focused, at least for 2 weeks, for that session and the session after that, focused on how to access data, economic data, and how to analyze that economic data. And so we were able to look at real-time data from, or not so much real-time, but data from St. Kitts and Nevis that would have been posted on the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank website, as well as the International Monetary Fund. So these were sources that we were taught how to access that information, how to develop the graphs from that information, and how to analyze that data in order to properly report on this particular issue. And at least one of our members, one of our media houses, was able to use that information and use that knowledge gained from those sessions at the workshop, and to provide that story, or work on that story, which provided a lot of clarity to a lot of people, a lot of high commendations on that particular story.
Meanwhile, Mr. Hope expressed gratitude for the opportunity to provide valuable training to media workers in St. Kitts and Nevis and the Eastern Caribbean.
I would like to say a resounding thank you to the St. Kitts and Nevis Media Association for the opportunity for us to partner in delivering the training on economic and financial reporting. I am confident that following this training, our media personnel are better equipped to report, to analyze, and to interrogate a lot of publication that comes out, whether it be government reports, government budget speeches, IMF reports, or even, let's say, financial reports by a number of our publicly traded companies. It is an initiative I'm truly excited about, and even to get some positive feedback from members from within the media society. And I'm really looking forward to continue our engagement.
The Economic and Financial Reporting Workshop is a partnership between Media Association of St. Kitts and Nevis and Hope Economics. The training was given to media workers in St. Kitts and Nevis and the wider Eastern Caribbean. The association promised that additional workshops of this kind and further collaborations with Hope Economics are being planned for 2023. I am Jacinthia Tishiro for SKN Newsline.
The holiday season is approaching, and now is the time to get the message out about your business. SK Newsline introduces special advertising rates for the Christmas season with our Christmas specials. You can advertise on the SK Newsline Newscast or send special holiday greetings to the general public with our Christmas greetings on both SK Newsline and Voice of the Caribbean Radio at affordable prices. Call our marketing department for more information, 665-7496, or email advertising@sknnewsline.com. 'Tis the season to be jolly, so enjoy our Christmas specials at SK Newsline and Voice of the Caribbean Radio and promote your business the effective way this holiday season. Your vehicle is very important to you. That's why you should ensure it gets the best service and care possible only at IAS Diagnostic Center, located at Bird Rock behind the Life Fitness Center gym. Come to IAS Diagnostic Center for wheel alignment, rotor cutting, AC servicing, wheel balancing, oil filter change, diagnostic, tire repair and sale, tinting, and much more. With top-of-the-line equipment, come to IAS Diagnostic Center in Bird Rock. Opening hours Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Call 767-4422, 662-4416, or 466-6708. IAS Diagnostic Center for quality care of your vehicle.
Online radio has never been this great. It's Voice of the Caribbean Radio at voiceofthecaribbean.net. Tune into Voice of the Caribbean Radio for great Caribbean programs, news, entertainment, sports, and current affairs. Wake up each morning and be inspired with One Day at a Time with Kim Huey. Stay abreast with news across the Caribbean and internationally with the Caribbean News Hour, and be entertained with shows like Reggaeville, Caribbean Classics, and Jive Music Show. Visit our website, download our Android mobile app, or listen us on TuneIn Radio. There is so much more on Voice of the Caribbean Radio, reaching the Caribbean and beyond. Check website or app for program schedule.
Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastille, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where the service is number one. If you're looking for a place to host that special event, conference, meeting, social event, party, whatever the occasion, your best option is the Millhouse Convention Center, Palmetto Point, St. Kitts. Located on the picturesque Garvey's Estate, the Millhouse Guesthouse Convention Center has enough space for outdoor events overlooking the Caribbean Sea. If you're looking indoors, the center is equipped with amenities needed to make your event a success. And by combining both spaces, you're sure to have a memorable event, no matter the occasion. Call the offices at Millhouse Guesthouse and Convention Center to book your next event on simply the most beautiful place in St. Kitts. Call 668-1392. Millhouse Convention Center at Garvey's Estate, Palmetto Point, St. Kitts. Making your event memorable.
Following a string of murders last week, two of which occurred in Grosley, Tourism Minister Honorable Dr. Ernest Hilaire was questioned on what measures would be put in place to beef up security at the height of the cruise season. Rodney Bay and Grosley Town are two of the island's prime tourism locations. Though the minister was unable to answer the question in detail, he did indicate that it is an issue for urgent attention.
Issue that we have to address. A few years ago, again, when the Labour Party was there, we had the Rangers program, which would dedicated special constables to deal with touristic spots. It was stopped. And I think we probably should bring it back.
The age of social media is such that everything is broadcasted globally in an instant. Minister Hilaire cites this as one of the many reasons why proactive measures must be taken.
And we live in an era now where any attack is all over social media, broadcast all over the world. And it's a different reality to what it was a few years ago. We need to be very, very sensitive to that, and we need to be very proactive.
According to Dr. Hilaire, the numbers for the season are trending upwards, and tourism stakeholders are doing their best at advertising the destination. As a result, there is need to protect the image of the island's tourism product.
We're going to have a very good season. Fourth quarter and first quarter 2023 in terms of arrivals and cruise ships. And we need to make sure nothing is done. We are out there working very hard, the Tourism Authority, the SLHTA, promoting St. Lucia, trying to keep the numbers up, and we cannot take chances. We really have to put our best foot forward and to push all agencies to work together and to make sure that the tourism industry brings greater benefits to St. Lucia.
A very nonchalant-looking 36-year-old Shane Edwards escorted by police into the St. George's No. 1 court on Monday. The entertainer of Rosa Dominica was denied bail and will have to wait a couple of days before the court decides his fate. Suki, as he is known in the entertainment world, was charged for 1 count of indecent assault on a minor. Edwards was represented in court by attorney-at-law Peter David. Police at a resort in the south of Grenada arrested the artist on Friday, who was booked to perform at a show at the National Stadium on Saturday. Amateur footage captured at the resort quickly made the rounds on social media and showed Suki being escorted into a police vehicle after an alleged encounter with a minor at the resort. The minor is reported to be a 14-year-old female Guyanese national living in Canada, however was on vacation in Grenada at the time. Suki was remanded to the Richmond Hill prison until Thursday, December 1st. Following the announcement of his arrest, several people took to social media to share their sentiments on the issue. Many questioned the artist's mental stability. People were even furious that the man was even hired in the first place. It is alleged that Suki was hired by Make Noise Entertainment for the Fire and Ice show. When contacted, the promoter of the event said he was advised that no comment should be made while the matter is under investigation and promised a full statement of what really transpired when investigations are over. Christina John, GBN News.
It's the world's largest active volcano, but Mauna Loa hasn't looked like this for almost 4 decades.
We're way overdue. We were way overdue for a Mauna Loa eruption. And so we had prepared.
Standing at more than 4,000 meters above sea level, Mauna Loa has been stirring for weeks, worrying scientists with earthquakes just below the summit, a sign of the eruption to come.
We don't want to try and second guess the volcano. We have to let it actually show us what it's going to do, and then we inform people of what is happening ASAP.
Communities had held emergency meetings in preparation for a possible evacuation, though none so far has been called.
I'm here because I'm concerned. I live here and I work here.
Mauna Loa makes up about half the landmass of the Big Island, the southernmost tip of the Hawaiian archipelago. The U.S. Geological Survey says the eruption is currently contained to the volcano's summit. About half of Mauna Loa's previous eruptions have stayed there, while half have also seeped out through rifts at lower elevations, endangering ranches and beachside communities.
We could be in for a little bit of a prolonged time trying to determine if this is going to be a summit-only eruption or a summit plus a rift zone eruption.
Residents are fearing a repeat of 2018, when the eruption of a smaller neighboring volcano destroyed 700 homes. Mauna Loa is both taller and steeper, meaning magma would be able to reach human populations faster if the mountain boils over. But Hawaii's Emergency Management Agency says that would be a worst-case scenario and one too early to predict. For now, it has opened 2 shelters as a precaution and warned of ash and gases as Hawaiians watch, worry, and wait. Heidi Jo Castro, Al Jazeera.
Police patrolling the streets of Beijing by night. It's a far cry from scenes in the Chinese capital just the day before. The government has increased security in several major cities following the biggest protests in decades. In Shanghai, scuffles broke out when police officers demanded people delete images from their phones. "I'm not filming anymore," this woman is saying. Authorities are keeping tight control of what's spreading on social media.
They don't want people to see that there are other people who are, courageous enough to go to the street to protest.
Barricades now line the streets where hundreds of people had gathered before, calling for an end to strict lockdowns, quarantines, mass testing, and disruptions that have been enforced for 3 years. Reports quoting demonstrators say authorities have opened inquiries into the events of the past few days and have been summoning people suspected of attending protests to give written statements detailing their activities. Many people had used the demonstrations to speak out about a range of grievances, including censorship and diminishing civil liberties. Despite the challenge to the Chinese government, analysts doubt it'll force any change.
People can go to the street spontaneously to voice their discontent, to demand for freedom, but for any kind of movement to sustain, you need an organizing structure, you need civil society groups, you need activists. But those people are gone, they're in jail, they are silenced, or they're in exile.
At a media briefing on Tuesday, health officials did say they would address concerns about excessive controls and fine-tune regulations to limit the impact on livelihoods. But they stopped short of conceding there was a problem with the zero-COVID policy.
Some citizens and the general public say the biggest problem is the oversimplification of the prevention control measures, the arbitrary imposition of restrictions, and a one-size-fits-all approach.
It's not the first time the government has acknowledged public frustrations. In the past, though, nothing has changed, which suggests it could be some time before China reconsiders its response to the pandemic. Patrick Falk, Al Jazeera, Hong Kong.
The SKNFA Youth Referees course held this past weekend officially ended on Sunday afternoon with a closing ceremony at the Warner Park Cricket Dining Room. The successful participants each received their certificates indicating their improvement in match officiation proficiency, which is important in their work as referees and match officials in St. Kitts and Nevis. Addressing the participants briefly at the ceremony were Chairman of the Referees Committee on the SKNFA Executive, John Bergen, and SKNFA General Secretary, Tishelle McLean.
I first want to commend you for your participants on this course. I got from the interactions here this afternoon that it was a success, and so I want to commend you for your participation. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you as we are about to start a new season in about 2 months' time. Some of you will be posted at the youth leagues. Some of you will be at the Female League, and some of you will be maybe at Division 1 and hopefully at the Premier Division. So I want to commend all of you, and I'm looking forward to the success and the learning that you would have gotten from this course being displayed on the field in the new season to come.
As Mr. Bergen so rightly said, in the next few months, you are now going to be given the opportunity to shine in your own relevant spaces. Use this as your avenue to get out there. You only have to start someplace, and from the time everybody sees your potential, there is no limits for you. Our mandate as SKNFA is to ensure that we enhance the product that we have. And in our referees department, Mr. Ramsey has been doing an exceptional job in that. So let us give him a round of applause.
At the opening ceremony on Friday, President of the SKNFA, Atiba Harris, told the participants that they are future leaders and urged them to not just see match officiating as a hobby.
Refereeing development is very important for football. You guys are seen as future leaders. You're here because you're interested, you've dedicated your time, you're now making a commitment to be leaders. The referees are directly falls under the SKNFA. You represent the SKNFA. We've had a number of referees, FIFA officials in the past, who officiated in what? Gold Cups, the CONCACAF Gold Cups, World Cup qualifiers, CONCACAF Club Championships, etc. You should use that as a milestone as to set your goals. Don't just see it as a hobby.
Several participants received special awards, namely Tahira Willock, receiving the award for the most punctual. Most attentive went to Joash Walters. Most disciplined, Michaela Dillon Sergiu. Most vocal, Eversley Davis. Most improved, Javion Archibald. And most outstanding performance, Jaden Rouse. The Youth Referees Course is organized by the SKNFA Referees Department under the leadership of Malcolm Ramsey. The training is administered by local-based certified referees instructors and is a mixture of practical and theoretical sessions.
Welcome to the SKN Newsline Weather Report. I am Janil Boone. Here is a look at the forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. More detailed weather report, visit our website at www.sknnewsline.com.